Have you ever looked around your workplace and just wondered what makes people tick? Why some people seem to get so much done, almost effortlessly, while others are just spinning their wheels, constantly busy but not really going anywhere? Well, that's the big mystery we're going to unpack right now.
So let's just get right into it. This is the question that haunts pretty much every manager and every team. Why are some people genuinely productive and others are just busy? The answer, and this is the important part, isn't about working harder. It's all about psychology.
You see, it turns out that on almost every single team, you can spot three distinct archetypes, three kinds of workers. And once you understand the psychology behind each one, you can unlock the entire puzzle of productivity. Not just for them, but for everyone.
Okay, first up, let's meet our first character, the task-limited worker. You can think of this person as the reliable doer. They're the one you can always count on to follow instructions right down to the letter.
So what does this actually look like day to day? Well, this person does exactly what's on their to-do list. No more, and definitely no less. They're always on time, they clock in, they clock out, but they kind of shy away from any extra effort or, thinking outside the box. They're totally reliable, which is great, but here's the catch. They're not really growing.
So what's going on in their head? The psychology behind this is something called a transactional mindset. It's this simple, unsaid agreement. I do these exact tasks you gave me, and you pay me my salary. Deal? And while that feels safe, it's the very thing that stops them from taking initiative or trying to solve problems on their own.
So how do you help this person level up? It's all about shifting that mindset. Instead of just giving them a task, you have to reframe the entire goal. So don't say, hey, can you do this thing? Instead, try, hey, can you take ownership of this process and find a way to make it better? That one little change can transform them from just a task taker into a real problem solver. It's the difference between just surviving at work and actually growing.
All right, let's move on to our second character, the over-involved worker, or as I like to call them, the busy socializer. Oh, you definitely know this person. We all do.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. This person is always in meetings, always checking in on what everyone else is doing, always offering to help. It looks like incredible dedication, right? But the real insight here is that it's all just distraction in disguise. All that activity is often a way to avoid their own most important work.
And look, this isn't just a minor annoyance. This behavior has a real, measurable cost. The constant multitasking and jumping from one thing to another, that context switching, can slash your personal efficiency by a whopping 40%. That's huge. It's proof that being busy is not the same thing as being productive. So why do they do it? Well, the psychology is usually a mix of two things: a deep-down need for approval and pretty low self-regulation. They operate on this core belief that being visible is the same as being valuable. They're looking for that validation from others and really struggle to sit down and do the quiet, focused work that actually moves things forward.
The fix here is all about learning to prioritize. And honestly, there's no better tool than the Eisenhower matrix. It's super simple. For every task, you ask two questions. Is it urgent? Is it important? If it's both urgent and important, you do it now. If it's important but not urgent, you schedule it for later. If it's urgent but not important, you delegate it. And finally, if it's neither, you just delete it. Get it off your plate. It's a game changer for focus.
And that brings us to our final and, let's be honest, our ideal worker, the balanced performer. This is the quiet leader, the person who is just a rock star on any team.
So what's their secret? What makes them so effective? It's not about working crazy hours or being the loudest voice in the room. The secret weapon of the balanced performer is high emotional intelligence, EQ. This is the thing that changes everything.
So what even is EQ? Well, you can break it down into 5 key skills. First, self-awareness. They just know their own strengths and weaknesses. Second is self-regulation. They can stay cool when everything's on fire. Third is motivation. They're driven by a sense of purpose, not just deadlines. Then you have empathy. They actually get where their teammates are coming from. And finally, social skills. They communicate with amazing clarity. It's that potent mix of self-control and people skills that sets them apart.
Okay, so we've met our three workers. Now for the practical part. How can you, whether you're a leader or just a teammate, use this psychology to help your team? Let's quickly run through 4 really powerful tools you can start using today.
First up, the DISC assessment. This thing is a classic for a reason. It's not about putting people in a box. It's about understanding how they naturally behave and communicate. Are they dominant and goal-focused,
influencing and people-focused, steady and support-focused, or compliant and detail-focused. Knowing this is like having a cheat sheet for communicating effectively with every single person on your team.
Tool number 2. We are back to emotional intelligence. Why? Because the numbers don't lie. Look at this chart. Teams with high EQ don't just feel better to be on, they perform better. On average, they outperform teams with lower EQ by a solid 20%. That's a direct line from emotional skills to better results.
Tool 3 gets to the very heart of why we work, Hertzberg's motivation theory. This is so important. It says that a good salary, what he calls a hygiene factor, is great, but all it does is keep you from being unhappy. It doesn't actually motivate you. Real lasting motivation comes from motivators like feeling recognized, having autonomy, and opportunities to grow. If you don't have those, even well-paid people will eventually just check out.
And finally, tool number 4 is the Johari window. This is just a brilliant, simple framework for building trust and self-awareness. The idea is that there are things you know about yourself and things others know about you. Through open feedback, you shrink your blind spots and expand the open area of shared understanding. It's a fantastic way to turn a group of individuals into a real team.
So, after all that, after looking at these 3 archetypes and the psychology behind them, we're left with one last really important question. It's not about spotting these types in other people. It's about looking in the mirror. Which worker are you? And maybe more importantly, which one are you going to choose to be tomorrow?